Pastime in 2018. Welcome to Miami. It's the Reds and the Marlins wrapping up this four-game series. Marlins have won the last two. They go for a series victory today. And for the last time, we welcome you inside the broadcast booth here at Marlins Park. Paul Severino, Todd Hollinsworth. Really feels like just yesterday we were starting the Major League Baseball season. The first pitch of the year across baseball was right in this building.
Yeah, it has. It's been an interesting journey this year. I think there's been a lot of growth, probably individually more than collectively. Right. The record is the reflection of that. But again, you got Trevor Richards on the mound. He's been a great story, I think, in a lot of ways this season. Certainly looking to finish a little stronger than the first three starts here in September.
Right. We'll get to Richards in just a second. But again, you mentioned the youth of this team throughout the year. And last night, the Marlins Minor League Player of the Year, Austin Dean, was mic'd up before the game. Had an awful lot of fun playing in the camera. It was great. And he got the good karma because he got some big hits.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And Austin Dean's been impressive since kind of coming on to the scene, earned his way up to the major league level, 345 in the minor leagues, and has earned some good starts. He's gone through some ups and downs, and last night was clearly a high. And boy, oh boy, you know we love to pair that with the media, right? Gets mic'd up before the ball game. His teams are like, get away from me, you're contagious, and goes out and has the game of his life, career high 3 RBIs last night.
Yeah, that was fun to watch. He's in the lineup today, hitting second today, so bumped up a little bit. Now on the other side, last year's minor league pitcher of the year, Trevor Richards, gets the start today. The changeup has certainly been the focus for him each and every start. When it's good, he's good, and obviously the other way.
It always has been. And, you know, as we watched him develop this year, we've seen the great changeup, and we've seen the bad changeup. Now, you look to the left, that's not the good one. That's the good one. It's got to have the depth. He masks the pitch very well with his mechanics, of course, playing off the fastball. But when it's up, it's an incredibly vulnerable pitch, as you see there. That's Rendon getting extension and hitting a home run. This is down. This is Harper recognizing that it's in the strike zone, but up. Guess what? Then it's out of the strike zone. Up, no good. Down, great. So he's got to have that depth, and has no doubt been very, very inconsistent over his last handful of starts. So again, kind of going into the last two, we talk about maybe throwing a few more breaking balls. I feel like that ship has sailed just a bit. I don't think he's throwing it enough now to think it's going to happen, but that changeup's going to always be a big pitch for him.
And the guy that he's up against is Michael Lorenzen for the Cincinnati Reds. For the most part this year, he has been a reliever, but now working as a starter, and this is his second start in as many turns.
That's exactly right, and he's coming off a good one. 4 strong innings against the Brewers. It wasn't much. Of course, I think he'll be managed that exact same way today. He's got a big live fastball, throws the cutter. He's a strong dude, I'll tell you what, and be careful, he can hit a home run.
Yeah, he has done. He's been, as we said last night, a jack of all trades, a reliever, a starter, a pitcher, a pinch runner. He's even played some outfield for this team. Just a terrific athlete. So this is it. The final home game of the year. We're going to step aside here when we come back on Marlins baseball on Sunday afternoon. We'll look back at the best moments at Marlins Park here in 2018, a season filled with walk-off wins. Back in a moment. Marlins wrapping up this 4-game series, their season series, the home season for the Miami Marlins. And for more on what a year it's been, we check in with the guys in center field.
All right, Paul, for a final time, we thank you for all those great tosses all year long here, at least at home. A road trip coming up for the Marlins. We're going to look at our best moments at home. Each one have picked out a play. You probably could pick out a bunch. What do you got, Nelly?
Well, I could. Mine was going to be yours trying to sneak a kiss on Miguel Rojas' mom, but we had to go with something on the field. I went all the way back to April 3rd when Jose Urena faced the Boston Red Sox. Well, the one thing I liked the most is because he knocked down Eduardo Nunez in the first 2 pitches, put him on his back. I love when guys throw inside and throw with authority. He went 7 innings, only giving up that 1 run. I thought that was outstanding. I really loved how he has thrown, and especially lately.
Boy, lately, 5-0 over his last 6 starts is Jose Urena. He's been outstanding.
All right, Tommy Hutton has a pick for his best home moment of the year. What did you select?
I didn't go as far back as Nelly. Because my memory, you know, you get a little older. I just went back to Friday night.
All the way.
How about a 10th-inning walk-off by Isaac Galloway? Over 3,400 minor league at-bats, over 850 minor league hits. You know, we had such fun interviewing him when he got his first major league hit against Winkler and the Braves. This was even a greater moment. He'll never forget it. A great hit, a great win for the ball club. So a walk-off for Isaac Galloway.
All right, I'm between ages, so I went right in the middle. I went back to July the 9th. And here's why. The Milwaukee Brewers absolutely slaughtered the Marlins in April. They outscored them 30-10. Marlins did not look good. Here's July 9th. They had 2 wins in the series. Brian Holiday with a key hit off the bench, walk-off win. And the Marlins helped win that series and won that ball game 4-3. And also walk-off, as you pointed out in yours, one of the staples of the homestands this year. 9 of them for the Marlins, 3rd best in the league. A good moment. Guys, we had a lot of fun here. I know Tommy joined us in midstream.
Hey,
awesome.
My pleasure. Had fun, Nelly.
Yeah, it was outstanding. I enjoyed it.
And we got a road trip to go, so we'll be with you for the road trip as well from the studio. We'll see you on the post game with much more. Right now, Paul Severino and Todd Hollandsworth will have the call coming up of the season finale at home for the Marlins. They'll play the Reds next.
Florida is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By WB Mason. Who but WB Mason, the official office supply company of the Miami Marlins. By Chevrolet, see your South Florida dealer today. And by your South Florida Toyota dealers. Another beautiful afternoon here in Miami. The roof closed, the windows closed. We are ready for baseball. Reds and Marlins at home for the last time in 2018. The Red starting lineup is presented to you by Southwest. Some new names, at least in terms of the starting lineup. No Joey Votto in there, no Billy Hamilton in there. So Tucker Barnhart takes over at first base with Kurt Casale behind the plate. And it's Scott Schebler to lead things off. Trevor Richards' first pitch is fouled right back to the screen. And it's 0-1. So we meet Trevor Richards, a guy who started the season relatively early on in the year and then had a little bit of a pocket where he was in the minor league, straightened things out, had a good run, and now trying to get back to that in his last start or 2.
Yeah, that's right. He's got probably 2 more starts, I would assume, making his 24th start of the season, 25 years old. He's never faced the Reds before. That certainly favors his arsenal. We talk about the changeup an awful lot. For Trevor, he'd love to finish this season strong. Good changeup there on the 1-1 pitch. 4.53 ERA, 11 starts here at Marlins Park, 4.95 ERA on the season. Lefties 226, righties 289. 12 of the 15 home runs he has allowed by right-handed batters.
And Schebler with a fly ball out to right field for Sierra. And that's the afternoon's first out.
Get you the Marlins defensively behind Richards for this afternoon's ball game. Dean, once again, big night for him offensively last night. Brinson in center field, Sierra over in right, Anderson, Riddle, Castro, O'Brien, JT Realmuto not behind the plate today. Chad Wallach gets the start, his 11th start of the season. 26-year-old, 5th round pick of the 2013 draft.
Strike to Jose Peraza, the Reds shortstop, who's putting together a very nice season. 31 doubles, his most on the team, 13 homers, 56 RBIs. This one down the right field line and foul. 0-2. There's a 9-game hitting streak against the Marlins. Pops up the changeup. Right side, Peter O'Brien drifting out of the outfield grass, and they're 2 away. Well, one thing that we have seen from the Reds, they're aggressive.
Oh my, well, it's, yeah, sometimes there's rules to that. Usually they were instructional, like you would get fined if you saw 2 pitches in an at-bat. And clearly the Reds, at least it seems like they've been playing with those rules in play for the 4-game series. And well, 7 pitches into this one, I'm starting to think they might do it again. Richards has got to be able to play off of that. It's very interesting because Richards has not fared too particularly well all season long when he has dealt with some of the more aggressive early count lineups. The reason I say that, and I'll tell it to you in a second if we get there. Of course, these innings are flying by. All right, I'll give you an example. Against him on the first pitch, hitters are hitting .451 on the season with 6 home runs. 1-0, 448, 2-0, 429. What's that tell you? Stay ahead. Don't worry about that changeup. You're probably going to get more of a fastball. But if he gets ahead, he's got great numbers. 0-1, 190. How about 1-1, 111? I mean, he is. He's got one of the biggest gaps in all of baseball when you talk about starters pitching ahead and pitching behind because of that changeup.
He's behind Scooter Gennett. 2 balls and a strike. And Gennett, a base hit into right field. So that should help his batting average, which at the start of the day was .316, 4 points behind Christian Yelich for the NL batting crown. But another hit, that's 180 for him. He starts the day with that hit. Now 6 behind Freddie Freeman for the most in the National League. It's been a good offensive year for Scooter Gennett. Year and a half, really. But he is aboard with 2 outs, and that will bring up Eugenio Suarez. Speaking of good seasons, 32 homers and 101 RBIs. Strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
Well, he's looking for a surge. Probably between Suarez and Arenado for the Silver Slugger Award, I would imagine. For third base. Both having huge seasons. Suarez viewed as a building block of this Reds franchise. The Reds another down season, certainly looking to build for the future. Brian Price let go early on this season. Jim Riggleman, interim manager, has taken over. Played some better baseball under Riggleman. They still have to figure out how to compete in the National League Central, and they've got some hot teams going right now. Brewers are rolling. Cubs are right in there. Cardinals are seemingly back on their feet.
Two and one to Suarez. There it is. There's the changeup. He gets Suarez, and his first strike out of the afternoon. Marlins strand 1. Reds get a 2-out single, but can't do anything with it against Trevor Richards. So now they'll come to the batter's box as JT Riddle will lead things off against Michael Lorenzen. The rest of the Marlins starting lineup presented to you by Southwest. Yesterday, Austin Dean, 3 RBIs, moved up into the 2-hole in front of Starlin Castro and Peter O'Brien. A day off for JT Realmuto, so it's Chad Wallach behind the plate. Trevor Richards hits 8th, with Magneuris Sierra hitting 9th. Riddle takes upstairs for ball 1. So the last time the Marlins had the pitcher bat 8th was around this time last year. Jose Urena batted 8th. As Riddle lines one out to right, coming in is Irvin, but that's going to be a base hit. And that was because obviously the historic season that Giancarlo Stanton had last year. They wanted to get him as many at-bats as possible, so Giancarlo led off in an effort to get as many ABs. So D. Gordon hit 9th. So it's been about a year. You see teams do that an awful lot. Other teams, that is.
Now Michael Lorenzen gets his 2nd start of the season this afternoon here at Marlins Park. Former first-round pick of the Reds. 2013 draft. He's got a big arm. Moved right into the rotation early on in his career, and he's transitioned into the bullpen. He's now back in the rotation. Throws hard. 96 miles an hour on the 4-seam fastball and the sinker. Changeup is hard as well, 88. Does have a curveball and a cutter. Cutter's in primary, secondary pitch.
May have deflected that one, and it redirected into center field. I think if he doesn't get a glove on it, Jeanette probably gets to it. But Dean, another hit, and there are 2 on and nobody out.
Well, stays hot. All right, there you go. Michael Lorenzen, if you're watching him, yeah, big arms. Plural. That's right. High velocity, as I mentioned, does throw hard. And, oh, by the way, he can hit. So keep this in mind. Career .250 hitter with 6 homers and 17 RBIs. This season, .296. 4 homers and 9 RBIs. I mean, he's only got 8 hits for crying out loud. 4 of them have left the building. All right, number 2 is cut it out, as I just mentioned. He's going to use that cutter an awful lot once he settles in, I think. And he's kind of pinballed back and forth with his arsenal. His last start changed things for him a little bit, but one thing I probably can guarantee you is that it's going to be a short start. The reason I mentioned that, he's only thrown 66 pitches in a start or in a game this season. So, you know, playing off of that, he went 4 innings his last time out, 52 pitches. It's going to be somewhere in there, meaning they're going to be in that bullpen early today.
Two balls and no strikes to Starlin Castro. 12 homers and 54 RBIs for him on the year, 3 for 12 in the series. But between he and Scooter Gennett, Ozzie Albies, those are the 3 second basemen in the National League that are up near the top in a number of hit categories. So 2 singles and now a 3-0 count on the 3rd hitter for the Marlins. Last night they were 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position, left 4 on base. In the series, 6 for 17 with 17 left on base, but they have won the last 2 games and look for a series victory today. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Did he go? They say he did, and it's now 3-2.
Yeah, he got a pretty good look at the cut fastball. Starlin thought he was going to get 95 to 96. He was kind of winding up, ready to unload, and Lorenzen went with the cutter.
Payoff pitch on the way to Castro, on a hop to short, picked by Peraza, and they'll double him up. Wow, what a play over at short by Jose Peraza.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been a very good year for a few of these Reds infielders, but I'm not sure you'd pick up anybody whose stock has risen farther this year than Peraza. He's been an outstanding player. He's earned more playing time. Of course, most of what we talk about is offensive because he's had such a great year, but this is a special play. Boy, oh boy, turning what could have been a run-scoring base hit into a double play on the short hop. Let's package of the Reds defensively. Schebler in left, Guerrero in center field. That's right. Vladimir's nephew. His throwing arm was rated best in the International League, so keep an eye out for that. 15 outfield assists in the minor leagues this season. Irvin gets the start in right. Suarez, Peraza. Jeanette and Barnhart making his 6th career start over at first base. Sally behind the plate.
Vlad's nephew has a good arm.
Yeah, well,
Shocked
we
by
decided to continue to tie this in as the more nuggets we've kind of dug up on him. Of course, we saw the long home run yesterday to right center field with no batting gloves on, and couldn't help but see that happen.
0-2 to Peter O'Brien. See, we got some of the hair coming out of the hat.
Yeah, that's right. Like, he's got the little tape on the fingers. Vladdy used to do that as well. Believe me, I saw so much of Vladdy.
Yes, that tape right there.
That's right, on the fingers. And he's got a great cannon. Cannon for an arm. International League, rated best arm in the league.
Peter O'Brien fouls it back. Still 0-2. Tell you what, that play by Peraza was extremely slick, but even coming from a guy who's committed 20 errors this season. A lot of their team errors have kind of come from the infield. Suarez 19, Peraza with 20, Jeanette's got 10. But Peraza made that one look easy. Marlins still a chance. Game's first run 90 feet away, and O'Brien lifts one out to left field and right at Schebler. So the back-to-back hits to lead off the inning amount to nothing. Scoreless after one. Throughout the week, that right there is the guy who runs the Fox box, Bill Wadlick. That's what Bill? He does. That's Bill. Yeah, that's how he gets to the ballpark.
Wait a minute,
every day.
That's Bill filming that, or that's Bill on that?
No, Bill's.
What is that?
Bill's
what do you call
on
that?
The tube thing with the water sprayer, which is actually that's the technical term.
It's you and me both, right?
Wouldn't know
Clearly, you and I have not been versed on this. I was just getting ready to comment that I look forward to trying that this winter. I want to do that.
That's right. Yeah.
That looks like fun to me.
That's right. But yeah, Bill Wallach recently celebrated his birthday.
That's awesome.
Somewhere between 23 and 97.
Awesome.
We're not quite sure where. But yeah, happy birthday to Bill. Runs the Fox box, the little strike zone that we have every day, where we give the umpires a hard time from time to time. Oh, he's the one that's actually saying our names.
Nice.
Right there. Fantastic. Bill, thank you. Our entire crew, thank you. We'll be calling out some folks who help us out throughout the season all day today. Of course, our great gratitude to them for their hard work throughout a long, lengthy summer. One away here in the second, and that will bring up Phil Irvin. To Anderson. Makes the throw across the diamond and 2 quick outs.
Enjoy an experience that goes beyond baseball with Marlins membership. Starting at just 10 games, you will be able to enjoy the season with a Saturday, Sunday, or a variety plan. All memberships give you access to our exclusive new benefits like ticket exchanges, savings at the ballpark, and special experiences. Visit marlinsenrollment.com. It all starts here.
Kurt Casale fouls the first pitch of the at-bat into the seats. And it's 0-1. Casale gets the start behind the plate tonight. Tucker Barnhart over at first, and a day off for Joey Votto. Nothing in 2. Umpires today: Ben May behind the plate, Corey Blazers at first, Stu Sherwater at second, and the crew chief Gary Cedarstrom is over at third. Did he hold up? He did not. Another strikeout. That's 2 in the inning, 3 in the game for Trevor Richards. A 1-2-3 second. Marlins Park, all about Lorenzen. Well, he pitched and played outfield at Cal State Fullerton, an All-American and finalist for the John Olerud Two-Way Player of the Year. 38th overall pick by the Reds in 2013, made his Major League debut a couple of years later. As we mentioned before, he's done an awful lot of, played a lot of different roles on this club for the Reds over the last couple of seasons. Back-to-back starts in as many turns. And here he is. We'll see if this is maybe a long-term rotation piece or if he continues to do this kind of a swing thing.
Well, one thing I do know is this. He is the leader of the workout regimen in the offseason.
That is.
He will be leading all the Reds through their wintertime workouts. I'm fairly certain. My goodness, he's big. I mean, usually you don't see starters. Now there's big starters, and there's guys who are really good athletes, incredible athletes. I've played with a few in my time. I'm not sure I've seen anybody with such big arms.
Right. I mean, the first guy that I thought of, and the body types in terms of the height are not the same. It's Brian Anderson, grounds 1-2 Peraza. Was Noah Syndergaard. But sometimes you think of the lanky pitchers like a Justin Verlander.
Right.
But
yeah, I'm not sure Syndergaard's even as big as I think.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
He's pretty unique. I believe this is part of his workout regimen. You see that standing broad jump? Can you do that? Can you do that right now?
No. Definitely not right now.
You got a little back issue going on right now.
A little back issue, yeah. Back's a little tight. Big guy. Lewis Brinson, a base hit into right field. But again, you know, I was going to ask you that question of can a pitcher pitch with that kind of that bulk?
That's a great question. I listen, I can speak to it on the hitter's aspect of it, at least for myself personally, and I went through a little transition myself early in my career that I didn't like, and it didn't benefit me or my game. In fact, I took a step back personally as a baseball player. I had to lose basically all the working out that I did after my first full season in the major leagues, because I kind of bought into this idea we need to be bigger, stronger, and hit the ball farther. And
right.
It just did not work well. I got stiff. I was not as flexible as I once was. I couldn't steal bases nearly as efficiently as I once did, and it really slowed my career down just a bit at the beginning. Now, I don't know. I mean, everybody's different. I know there's certainly, I had great teammates. Ron Gant was a good teammate of mine. Ron Gant is as big as Lorenzen and hit baseballs as far as anybody I ever played with. There are guys who can do it.
Yep.
I just wasn't one of them. So personally, that's my answer, but I think on the whole, it benefits some guys.
And Chad Wallach, a base hit up the middle. Back-to-back singles for the Marlins.
Yeah, I don't think we should be surprised at that. You know, we've talked an awful lot about Lorenzen's college career, right? 3 years at Cal State Fullerton. You know who was catching him all those 3 years?
Did he look anything like Chad Wallach?
Yeah, that'd be Chad Wallach right there in the box. In fact, they were in the exact same draft. 3 years together at Cal State Fullerton, 2011, 12, and 13. I was sitting there thinking about Wallach today. I knew they both had gone there. Of course, he's going to get himself a base hit against him. So Lorenzen was a two-sport star in college. He didn't pitch his first year, but the second and third year he closed, and he was also a center fielder. I don't think any of us are surprised by that.
Dead and right in front of home plate, and an easy play for Casale. Able to pounce on it and get the lead runner, Brinson, on the bunt attempt by Richards, so there are two away.
Well, this just is not far enough out, right in front of home plate. Casale pounce on it, quick throw. Brinson even got a pretty decent jump, but just the ball did not get out in front of home plate enough.
So here's Magneuris Sierra. 2 on and 2 out in the second. Takes a called strike. He's 7 of his last 19 over his last 8 games. 3 for 7 in this series. We've seen Billy Hamilton in this series, a speedy outfielder, much like Sierra. Also get into that 9 spot in the order for the Reds once or twice this series, acting as that secondary leadoff man, if you will. Actual leadoff man, JT Riddle, waits on deck. Lorenzen's 1-2 pitch is high and away, 2-2. Three and two outs. That'll start the runners. And a good take by Sierra to load the bases. Right at the bottom of the zone. Probably could have gone either way. Marlins catch the break, and they're loaded with 2 outs for Riddle.
Now, sometimes when you stay away 3 pitches in a row, you come back in, you make your pitches. A lot of times they'll lose it. We talk about that. Catcher's glove. Sometimes it gets a little drifty, if you know what I mean. They may have lost that pitch, but take by Sierra, loads the bases back up again.
Riddle a base hit in his first trip. takes low. Out to the mound goes Casale to talk with Lorenzen. Runs that Anthony DeSclafani gave up last night in the, again, third game of this series were the first runs allowed by a Red starter in the series. So their starting pitching has been terrific, or at least was terrific, the first 2 games of this 4-game set. Ground ball to Jeanette. Gets the out at first, and the Marlins leave 3 runners on base in the second. Still scoreless here at Marlins Park. Has been a video engineer for the Marlins since the team started, so 25 years worth of very hard work. Jay hanging him up after this season. Thanks for all your hard work over the last quarter century. And today, 5 minutes before the game started, a bullpen session.
79 years young. I'll tell you, he is an impressive young man. He's done a fantastic job for the Marlins, for Fox Sports.
He was here opening day 1993, one of the original crew members. He has seen it all, different ballparks, different names to the different ballparks, lots of players coming through here. He's seen the good, the bad, the championships, everything in between, and we certainly appreciate your hard work throughout the years.
He is Fox Sports Florida's Cal Ripken.
That's right. That is correct.
He is.
That is correct.
Hustling off the field. Way to go, Jay.
Gabriel Guerrero takes a ball outside. It's Guerrero, Michael Lorenzen, and Scott Schebler. 8, 9, and 1 for the Reds here in the third. Guerrero, his first major league home run in last night's ball game. To the right center field seats. Now the true test of his Guerrero-ness will be if he can hit a ball that Trevor Richards bounces up there. That's the true test.
We know his uncle could do that.
Or if he chases one at least, then we'll know.
Right. Well, this was a pretty special moment for the young Guerrero. I know everybody in his family certainly proud of him. I actually played with Wilton, played against Vladimir. And And that was Vladimir-esque, not Wilton-esque, but Vladimir-esque. Wilton was more of a slap hitter, speed guy. Maybe he's a combination of both. We'll find out as his career starts to open up. He's got power the other way.
Cut on and missed, and that is 4 strikeouts for Richards.
Well, Cincinnati Reds allergic to that changeup. My goodness gracious. He's been getting it down today. 4 strikeouts, all on the changeup. Take another look. We talked about this in the open. You see that downward tilt about halfway towards home? That's what he needs to be successful. For the hitters, they see that pitch. It's in the zone. They think as they're getting ready to swing at that pitch that they're going to crush it. They recognize that it's a change in speed, but they don't pick up the depth. And when they don't, they end up swinging over the top of it more times than not.
Now be careful with this guy. Lorenzen takes a called strike. 4 home runs for Michael Lorenzen.
He's one of only 3 pitchers this year that has a homer, a start, and a save. Kind of mentioned he's a jack of all trades, right?
Does it all. Play a little outfield too, but he grounds out.
That's right. Center field. Brandon Woodruff of the Milwaukee Brewers and Carlos Martinez of the St. Louis Cardinals. Clearly a National League Central theme.
Could be, yeah.
Homer, start, and save for Lorenzen.
Making a strong case to become the first relief pitcher to ever win the Louisville Silver Slugger Award. Of course, he's started the last 2 times out, but the point remains the same.
They're trying to get him more at bats.
That's right. Here's Scott Schebler with 2 outs.
He's actually pretty decent as a pinch hitter this year. A little Justin Bour-esque. 3 for 12 with 2 homers, 5 RBIs.
One to Schebler. Little off the inside corner. Fly ball out to Sierra in right to lead off the ball game. Noticed this last night. When Schebler gets 2 strikes, some guys will choke up like Anthony Rizzo or Joey Votto. He crouches down more with 2 strikes.
Well, he tries to shrink the strike zone. A little bit of a. He also shortens up just a little bit. He's got a pretty compact swing, but you're absolutely right. I saw this on the first fly ball out. I guess I really saw it the first time up today. Say he's done it a number of times in the series.
I noticed it last night. I looked down. I said, looks a little different. And then I figured, well, maybe it's a 2-strike thing. And I watched with 1 strike what happened, and then with 2 strikes, he kind of crouches down a little bit.
Well, listen, he may take some of that from Joey Votto, who's made some similar type adjustments with 2 strikes, or maybe a little Pete Rose, if you will. See some similarities there.
That's the first walk issued by Richards this afternoon. Sandy Alcantara and Steven Strasburg, the 2 starters tomorrow. Final road trip of the year. It starts in Washington, D.C. A couple of night games, an afternoon game on Wednesday. Sandy and Steven Strasburg going at it. Marlins Live pregame show 6:30. First pitch a little after 7 from Nationals Park.
I'm excited to see Sandy's next start. First 2 back here in September. Outstanding, off the charts good, but his last time he had to work really hard. Didn't have his best stuff. Command wasn't as sharp or as crisp. We talked about the ebbs and flows of being a starter in the big league level. You're going to go through the ups and the downs. You're going to go through the ins and the outs. You're going to lose pitches for a start, or as we've talked about Trevor Richards, that changeup's going to stay up for a few starts. How are you going to survive? How are you going to reformulate your game plan?
Tap foul by Peraza, 0-2. started the inning talking about Jay Mathis retiring from 25 years on the job. Some other folks to thank. Randall Notman in his first year as the engineer. Dan Marcus retired earlier this year, so thanks to Randall, who works with J.R. Robinson, truck engineers. Our utility Frank Herron. Appreciate the long days, the long hours throughout the summer. Nothing in 2-2. Peraza with Schebler off of first.
It's been so interesting, and of course we've seen it first time through the lineup for Richards. He's been good. We've talked change-up depth. Continue to talk about it in terms of what a hitter has to do. You kind of see it here with Peraza. He's really giving you a good example of it. When you've got good depth on your changeup, you've got to track the ball longer, meaning you want it to get deeper, which helps his fastball play up.
Chases that one. Back-to-back innings with 2 strikeouts, 5 through 3 innings for Trevor Richards. Scoreless at Marlins Park.
Welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Scoreless here at Marlins Park. Next season, Marlins Park will be the go-to destination for a first-class entertainment experience. It all starts with a reimagined club experience, a fan-centric section, all-new Miami-themed weekend lineup of entertainment. For more information, visit marlins.com/ballpark enhancements.
Austin Dean to lead it off for the Marlins. Takes low. Dean Castro O'Brien due up against the Reds righty. A single in the first inning for Dean. And a ground ball here in the 3rd. We check in with Craig.
Guys, Don Mattingly certainly has enjoyed the challenge. He talked about it before the year of managing this rehaul, this ball club, the new Marlins, and he said, but I'm competitive and the losses have been tough to take. And I asked him today, what are you most proud of? He said, I'll tell you one thing, and that is we never went through the motions. This club played hard no matter whether we were going well or going through a tough spot. You saw a great effort, and he said, for that, I'm very proud of this ball club. Now, hopefully, the Marlins can take that into next year, build in spring training, add some pieces, and be a lot better on the field as well in 2019.
Craig, thanks. Of course, no one wants to go through a season with as many losses as the Marlins have, but if you're looking for a positive moving forward, I go back to a quote that I brought up when we had Derek Jeter up here a few weeks ago. Adversity doesn't build character, it reveals it. And that's what Don Mattingly and his coaching staff have searched for. The guys who are going to grind through and maybe things aren't going your way, those are the guys you know you can rely on when it turns around.
You've incorporated a team overhaul, an overview of the entire organization and the expectation of what their players are supposed to be and how they're supposed to carry themselves on and off the field, and what they want to see as far as the effort, preparation, all the things that go into it. Listen, changing your organization around takes time. Doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen that way for anybody in this sport. Everybody knows too much about each other now. And with the internet and advanced scouting and everything else that's going on, it's not easy to do. It takes time. Trust me, this is from somebody who, and I'm not speaking from the player side of things, I'm speaking merely from, I just saw this happen in Chicago.
Right.
It takes time, and everybody has to understand that. I know it's not fun for me to sit up here and say it, but I do know they're making the right decisions, and they certainly have left me this season feeling like they're moving in the right direction.
Peter O'Brien right back to the screen, 0-1. O'Brien a fly ball to end the first inning. And no one with the organization certainly has put any timetables and said, oh, no, we're going to be good by this year or that year. It hasn't been that. But, you know, you look at teams like the Astros, like the Cubs, like the Royals, and maybe even now like the Braves. It does take time. Listen, there's been a lot of patience by the fan base and certainly a lot of frustrations from them over the years. We understand that kind of as baseball fans. Understand that now with our perspectives as O'Brien flies one out to center field, and that's a catch for Guerrero. Picks it off the dirt.
Take another quick look. Good swing of the bat by O'Brien. See the concentration in the eyes. It certainly does. Keep that glove just off the turf. The second out. Near the bottom of the third inning. Good swing from O'Brien. Really trying to stay middle away. To your point, I do know the answer to that question, and it's not a question that Derek Jeter can answer. There's nowhere we can go to ask somebody above us that answer is specific. The players set the time. It's as plain and simple as that. Now, part of that's the draft, part of it's acquiring talent, part of that is the culmination of talent inside the organization. But the idea is the players are the ones that push that conversation forward. I do remember the day. I remember Hugh Epstein at the time said to me, "It's time for us to go get John Lester."
Anderson off the end of the bat, sinking fast, and that's a base hit. Up to third goes Castro. A bloop knock with 2 outs for Anderson.
Yeah, there's the smile you like to see on his face. Good swing, I'll tell you. If the approach wasn't right, he wouldn't have gotten the hit. I can promise you that. Soft spot in the defense. Castro on his horse makes his way all the way to third. Cut fastball. See Lorenzo really leaning on it here. Second and third inning.
Strike to Brinson, who had a base hit back in the second inning. Left side, pinballs around, they throw to second, not in time. Castro comes in to score. A good hustle down to second for Brian Anderson on the infield single by Brinson. 1-0 Miami.
Yeah, good to see the Marlins finally come through. It stranded a few runners in the first and second inning. Put together a nice little 2-out rally here. This just off the glove of Suarez. Peraza nearly makes an incredible play, but Brian Anderson hustling all the way, as he almost always does. He'll beat that throw in the second. 6 hits for the Marlins now, first run of the ball game.
And now Chad Wallach takes a strike. Wallach a base hit up the middle back in the second inning. Lorenzen had 48 pitches. Again, he had 52 pitches his last time out. Reset that limit of about 50 to 60 last time. You figure maybe a few more in the tank today. As Wallach lifts one high and deep to left center field, way back and gone! A 3-run home run for Chad Wallach. That's his first big league home run.
Well, congratulations to the young Wallach. I know his dad, who's going to give him a high five in about 2 seconds, has got to be thrilled for him. My goodness, what a moment. There's Dad. I see him up there on the bench. Tim Wallach, that has got, look at that. Come on, Tim, now. A little celebration going on in the dugout. That's a special, special moment. And now I cannot help but laugh at the fact that he's now done this to Lorenzen, his former teammate in college. He kind of sniffed this one out a little bit. He was also his teammate with the Reds last season. These two have been kind of connected, I suppose, in some way. The cut fastball out in front. Wallach gets all of it. Watch the eyes. That tells you the story right there.
On the ground to Jeanette. That'll do it, but the Marlins score 4 in the inning, including the first major league home run for Chad Wallach. A 3-run homer.
To that man, and well, thanks to that man on the left too. That's his father, so might as well give him some credit. You see Tim Wallach and Chad Wallach, his son. That is a special, special moment. As a father, let me tell you, every time they do something, boy oh boy, it almost brings a tear to your eye. So I know Timmy's dealing with it. Timmy, a teammate of mine. I remember young Chad way back when he was about that tall.
Right.
Kind of come rolling through the clubhouse every now and again. Now he's up here in the big leagues hitting home runs. Marlins Park, congratulations to him. That is a huge, huge moment for the Wallach household, the family. So that family continues to grow, and I'll tell you, I know that's a special moment for Tim.
Oh yeah, and he's calling a good game too. 5 strikeouts for Trevor Richards.
Well, and I'll tell you, the changeup's got depth. I mean, that's what's so much fun to watch. We know when he's at his best, when Trevor's at his best, he's getting action or swings. Watch the swings. There's uncertainty in every one of these swings. You know, ideally, every player has a general swing that he takes when he holds onto the bat. And when you watch a guy who's fooled by a pitch, top hand comes off, head pulls off, steps in the bucket. We've seen that all tonight already, or this afternoon. 17 changeups in the ball game, all 5 strikeouts on the changeup. Kind of alluding to this last inning, you know, because it's such a great pitch when it's got depth that hitters go up there looking for it, or they defend against it. And I guess that's the right way to say it. And what I mean by that is because they have such a hard time seeing it, tracking it, and it does multiple things, that they get engaged with trying to defend against it, which helps the 89, 90 mile an hour fastball play back up again. I'll give you an example. We know he's struggled in the month of September, right? So the batting average against the changeup has been at 250. Now, all season long, when he had that great July, it was 119. Batting average against the fastball, 265. See how it works together? So the batting average nearly doubles here in the month of September. And of course, that ERA is well above 10. Of course, he's on his way to a good start today. But a 250 batting average against the fastball, 421. That's the problem that Trevor runs into. If the changeup doesn't have the depth and it's not doing what it's supposed to, it makes him more vulnerable. He's got to throw more fastballs. If he throws too many fastballs, they get hit hard. He doesn't possess tremendous velocity. So it's the changeup really setting everything else up.
Just the one hit allowed to the man at the plate, Scooter Gennett. And on 1-2, fastball misses inside. And again, it's not just the fastball changeup combination. Don Mattingly's talked about this the last few times out. It's that he can spot the fastball in the lower part of the zone, which is, of course, where the changeup should live. So if he is effective with that low fastball, not just the fastball in general, but the low fastball, then that really helps.
Playing off lanes, right? That's it. That's the idea. Again, if you throw a fastball up and a changeup down, you say, okay, well, you're trying to change the eye level of the hitter. But if you stay in the lane and your mechanics are clean and you go fastball changeup, then you start to mess with his tempo because he thinks he's seeing a fastball.
His changeup lifted out to left field. Austin Dean will make the play. Heading toward the corner for out number 1.
Yeah, let's give you some numbers kind of talking about the journey that we've seen here over the last few months. You see July, August, and September. And of course, you know, the ERA tells you the story and the good. Of course, the opponent batting average is the collection. But I like it to break it down by the pitches, and that to me is what tells the story. The other thing that I thought was so interesting, until you get to the August which was the 485, he'd never given up a changeup on the home run. Gave up 2 on the home run. So also what's been part of this has been the slugging percentage. So as the numbers have gone up when the changeup has been up in the zone a little bit, so have the home runs.
There's a hit for Suarez into left center field, a 1-out base hit.
It's easy to beat the heat when you become an energy saving expert. Go to fpl.com/beattheheat.
Another hit for Suarez. That's 5 in the series. Coming in, he was 0 for 14. So a guy who's had some pretty good numbers across the board for the Reds all season long has perhaps found his stroke again, just in time for the Reds to hop on a bus and head out of town.
Well, they've been able to control the footprint, I think, is maybe the best way to look at it. We're not talking 32 homers or 101 RBIs. We're just talking merely base hits. In a lot of ways, it's containing him. He's had that type of season. You don't mind him standing over first base with a single. He's not cleaning the plate, so to speak.
Right. Barnhart a strikeout in the first inning. He's 2 for his last 26. Into the seats. Inside 2-2.
I'll tell you one other thing that's been good this afternoon for Richards. His tempo has been a lot better than we've seen over the last few starts. You know, sometimes we all tend to slow down a little bit when things aren't going our way. He had definitely gotten into a slower approach on the mound. He's been in a nice rhythm today, and he has not broken that rhythm by really taking any more time in any one spot. He just continues to get the ball, get the sign, and throw. I should say pitch. Pitchers get mad at me when I say that. Pitching is the art and the craft. Throwing is what you do when you pick up a baseball.
Gotcha.
I've heard that a number of times throughout my career. Yeah, we're not throwers, we're pitchers.
Right. Oh, we often say that all the time. When a pitcher matures, we say, well, he's not a thrower anymore.
Right.
He's a pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
2-2 on the way, and just out of the reach of Castro. A base hit into right. Back-to-back singles for the Reds here in the fourth. South Florida Honda dealers present Marlins Live, the pregame show tomorrow. Craig Minervini, Tommy Hutton, Jeff Nelson from the studio as the Marlins head to Washington, D.C. Sandy Alcantara and Steven Strasburg, a rematch from earlier this week. A three-game series against the Nationals. Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday. First pitch at 4:05. The team heads to New York, an off day Thursday, and the final three games of the season, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, against the Mets. Phil Irvin, a ground ball to Anderson over at third in his first at bat. That's with Suarez on at second and Barnhart at first. Throughout the series, we have noted the struggles on the road for the Reds recently with runners in scoring position. Just 4 for their last 74 on the road. They've been on second or third base. Part of the reason why they are 3 games under 500 in September. Just 1 run total in their last 5 losses. That 1 run last night. Previous 4 all shutouts. Two-one pitch is a strike. 2-2. There's a called strike 3. And that's 6 for Richards.
Yeah, the changeup once again. You see the circle change. Watch the tumbling action. Catch that outside corner, a little bit up in the zone. Probably thought that was off. One thing that he does, it's got arm side run to it, and it works its way down in the zone. Just enough.
Kurt Casale, 2 on, 2 out. Throw to second, and Suarez is back. So if this is, we'll call this the 11th start of this little list that I'm about to give you for Trevor Richards. And he's got right. 6 strikeouts. 8 times in 11 starts he has had at least 6.
Now, how are the 11 starts put together? What's the qualifier?
Just his last 11.
Just his last 11
over
starts.
His last
Okay,
11.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's got another one. That's 7. Freezes Casale and strands a couple of runners. Marlins a 4-0 lead. Florida is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. The Cleveland Clinic. Trust the #1 hospital in Miami, Fort Lauderdale with your care. And by La Lechonera, the original mojo since 1970. Nice day outside and a nice day so far inside. A 4-0 Marlins lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. 9-1-2 due up for Miami. Sierra, Riddle, and Austin Dean against Michael Lorenzen. A walk for Maggs in his first plate appearance, that is, back in the 2nd inning. Squares to bunt, pulls it back, and it's 1-0.
Well, Lorenzen at 53 pitches here in the 4th inning. I would imagine at some point the Reds bullpen will start to stir.
Drops down the bunt. Lorenzen bare hands it and throws it wide. Backing up is Jeanette, so Sierra stays at first. But once again, putting pressure on the defense for Sierra by laying down the bunt.
Now it makes you do things defensively that you don't want to do. We've seen this throughout the series, not just in the form of the bunt, but in some other infield hits that he's had. It puts pressure on the defense, just like you said. You want to throw a little quicker. Lorenzen does a nice job fielding this bunt, but then realizes, uh-oh, I better get rid of this hurry because he's one step away from first base. And Sierra is really starting to grasp, as you've mentioned, his batting average over the last few ball games, what getting on base, where that value lies, and how to do it. Let's go back to my former teammate. I played with him 2 different spots, and I watched him do it all the time. Juan Pierre. It's a man who did not possess a tremendous amount of power, but understood what it meant to get on base and how to do it.
And we see Sierra. I mean, we get here at 3 o'clock every day, and those guys are already working up a lather. They've been on the field for 15-20 minutes already every day, working on bunting.
I love that Brinson says that JP was his guy growing up, but I mean, if we're talking player types here, Sierra needs to be saying that out loud. I mean, they are, that's what, they're identical. I mean, Sierra's a little bit bigger, probably has a little bit more power than JP had. JP was contact, 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 draw the third baseman in, slash it by him as soon as he played back, drop a bunt down. And the reason he was the first guy in the clubhouse every day was because he was constantly working on those things. It's what made him great. It's what made him a leader. I mean, that's the byproduct of it. He was working on it for himself because he knew he needed to do it, but at the same time, we were all taking note. Right. This young man knows exactly what he wants to do, what he wants to be, and how he's going to survive here at the major league level. For Sierra, he seems like he's picking up on it here over the last week or so.
Yeah, he's been working on the whens and the hows with Juan Pierre. The 0-1 to Riddle. Let's check in with Craig.
Guys, Don Mattingly is not the biggest proponent of hitting a player in the number 9 spot, but he really felt it worked here for Sierra in this game, especially, he says, for young players. Putting in that number 8 spot, very difficult because of the way they pitch you with the pitcher behind it. But he does say that 90% of the time it seems like when he's watched this, as Riddle swings, that pitcher comes up in a key spot. We saw it in the first game of the series, 2 on, 2 out, pitcher up. You're happy as a defending team. However, because in this spot he's a fast guy, young player, he'll see maybe some more pitches, get a better read on who Sierra is. It fits Sierra's game probably better now than maybe on a night-to-night basis for Don Mattingly's style.
There's a base hit through the right side, and Sierra will think about it, get right back to second base. Irvin pounced on it quick. But an infield single and a base hit through the right side for Riddle. Marlins in business here in the 4th.
Yeah, Marlins 2 hits in every inning this afternoon. First, second, third, now here in the 4th. Nice swing of the bat. JT picks up his second hit of the ball game. Interestingly enough, all the hits singles. We have a game about halfway through the season. It was at DC, Washington, like 19 hits in a row.
19 or 20 singles to start. Yeah,
9 singles here through 4 innings today. I think we're on pace for that.
Yeah, then somebody messed it up and had like a
couple
double
doubles,
or something.
right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah. Well, now it's Austin Dean. A single back in the first, had the 3 RBIs in last night's ball game.
I think kind of see with Lorenzen what he has gone through. In some ways, pitching between the rotation and the bullpen. In the bullpen, good 95, 96, good cutter, simpler arsenal. Here as a starter, it's those secondary pitches that you can tell he's struggled with. He still wants to go to the sinker and the cutter. Problem is that his breaking ball and I think his changeup are still very much a work in progress. So that second, or I should say third and fourth pitch, is really unreliable for him.
Well, even though he's pitching longer in terms of innings or total pitches than a reliever, he's still acting like one.
Right.
He stretches with the relievers before his 2 starts. He doesn't go through that whole long toss and 15-minute stretch in the outfield. He goes about his day on a start day the way that he goes about it as a reliever.
I find it very interesting that when he was drafted out of Cal State Fullerton, he was a 2-way player. And what's the best role it seems like that he's taken to as a Cincinnati Red? As a 2-way player, not as a starting pitcher. That's why I bring it up. I think it's so interesting because he was a closer in college. And of course he put up big numbers even his last season. What do we have? Yeah, this was his last season at Cal State Fullerton. He hit .335 with 7 homers and 54 RBIs. Now he closed 19 saves and a 1.99 ERA. Wasn't like he was ever in the rotation. Well, he is who he is right now. I mean, he's a combination of he can still swing the bat just a little bit. I know he doesn't get as many at bats when he's in the bullpen.
Right. Lined to second, and they double up Sierra.
Well, Peraza has helped bail him out of some trouble. He had a double play in the first inning and a double play here in the 4th. He's certainly frustrated. That ball pretty well.
That is 6 double plays turned by the Reds in this series. 2 Thursday, 2 Friday, 2 so far today. Ground ball to second. Castro retired. Through 4 innings here at Marlins Park, a 4-0 lead. Welcome back. A 4-0 Marlins lead as we go to the top of the 5th inning. Good arm on that young man right there. Speaking of, starting in week 4, Fox will be the new network home of Thursday night football. And the schedule that we've got is loaded with one huge matchup after another. That's Thursday night football coming to Fox in week 4. Now it's a game. Gabriel Guerrero on the first pitch, grounds to Anderson. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 5th. A couple of other thank yous to pass along here as we wrap up the home part of the schedule. Our tech manager, Chip Singer, kind of oversees just about everything. You got a problem, you call Chip. You want chocolate-covered strawberries, you call Chip. Yep, that's kind of what he's here for. He does other stuff too, but the chocolate-covered strawberries really kind of his thing. Brad Gersten, director, TD. Trained his brother Matt as a TD, a little studio directing as well. So thanks to Brad. Chip. There's Brad. You know how I know? Because he's got a hood on. Always a hood. Always goes with the hood. He and I both bald, so he's got to keep that melon warm. Right. He's not camera shy either. Not one bit. He'll throw to first to complete the strikeout. Mason Williams retired. 2 away in the 5th. Strikeout number 8. There's Chip.
Hi, Chip.
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 Hey, Chip.
Chip.
Chip. Chip.
Well, he's a chip off the old block.
Nicely done.
I'm not sure he was working right there. Looked like he was shopping.
Could have been. Probably. Low and into Schebler, so it's 8 strikeouts, all of which on the changeup for Trevor Richards. There's Marcus. He's yawning because he's locked in. He's probably tired of taking all the pictures of me eating and sending them to me. There's Ken Lee with his namesake right on the monitor there, Tyler Kinley.
Well, I was going to say, Ken Lee, what he does is right about the 7th inning stretch, he goes down to the bullpen, starts to loosen up a little bit. Gets himself ready for late inning duties.
That's right. That's right.
They've got Lorenzen, we've got Ken Lee.
Schebler, a fly ball out to medium right center field. It will be Brinson to make the catch. 5 innings in the books for Richards. 4-0. last of the 5th inning here at Marlins Park. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Miami Marlins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. New pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds is Sal Romano in his 37th game this season. First pitch to O'Brien misses. O'Brien, Anderson, Brinson for the Marlins after a 4-run 3rd inning.
Romano, like a few of the Reds, transition between the bullpen, starting staff. The Marlins have seen Romano in that rotation. 24 starts this year, 5.56 ERA out of the bullpen, 2.92 ERA, and 12 relief appearances.
Excuse me, swing, Tapper in front of the plate. Romano's throw is in time, and it's the first out of the 5th. Chevrolet Prospect Spotlight. It's Gerard Encarnacion. August 16th, he was promoted up to Greensboro. 284 average as a New York Penn League All-Star and 43 games with Batavia. International free agent in 2015.
Greensboro no more.
That's right. Anderson into center. That's going to fall in for a base hit.
There's something to up the middle the other way. Anderson's been all over it all season long, but kind of go through the ups and downs that he has been here in the month of September. Everything about the approach today, almost as deliberate as it possibly could be. He is going to go to center field or to right with everything, except his second hit of the ball game.
Well, for Anderson, multi-hit games were and have been kind of his thing throughout the season. But the 2 hits today, just his 2nd multi-hit game of September. Swing by Brinson, tapped it foul at the plate, 0-2. Randy, that's multi-hit game number 36 this year. Looking up at only Starlin Castro has 37. Blocked by Casale, and running to second is Anderson. It trickles into center field, and now he's headed for 3rd. And the ball gets away, and it goes off the netting right in front of the Marlins dugout. Well, a ball that got maybe 3-4 feet away from Casale is 180 feet for Anderson.
Well, all sorts of things going on in this play. My goodness. Now ball in the dirt. Casale keeps it in front, but now it's in Brinson. Brinson needs to get out of the way. Then there's a short hop throw into center field. Quick tag by Jeanette. He once again gets a little bit of leather on the ball, but doesn't keep it on the infield. So it ends up in the soft spot in the defense. How many times have we seen that in this 4-game series? A deflection by a Reds infielder into that soft underbelly of the outfield defense.
A lot. Yes. Yes.
It is football Sunday too, you know.
That's right. Good call. Good call. So it's a wild pitch to get to second and an E2 for Anderson to get to 3rd. For those scoring at home. Chad Wallach, a 3-run home run. He is 2 for 2 today. And that home run back in the 3rd, the first of his major league career.
407 feet, 105 miles an hour off the bat. Oh, let's do the Coors Light refreshing finish. Another look at it once again. Cut fastball from an old pal. That's right, Michael Lorenzen. Teammate of his for 3 years at Cal State Fullerton. Well, the Christmas cards will continue. His dad Wallach. Loving every minute of it. For Wallach today, second career multi-hit game.
He went around, a ball and 2 strikes. Final line on Lorenzen: 4 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, a couple of walks, no strikeouts. It kicks away into the on-deck circle on the right side, and in comes Anderson to score. So what a trip around the bases for PA. 5-0.
Yeah, a couple of wild pitches, an error, base hit to start it all off, and there you go. Instant offense, courtesy of the Reds defense.
And Wallach, a base hit into right field, cut off by Irvin before it gets all the way through. And a 3-hit afternoon for Chad Wallach.
Well, the hits just keep on coming. Have a career day. First 3-hit game of his career. Yeah, you just relax today, JT Realm. You know, I got this. Great swing, good balance. My goodness. Base hit up the middle, home run to left center field, and a line drive base hit to right. That's kind of putting on a clinic.
I think that's a good day.
Yeah.
And it's only the 5th.
He's got more to give, I hope.
Richards fouls it off, 0-2. Blocked by Casale. 5 runs and 11 hits today for the Marlins.
All 5 runs with 2 outs. That's exactly where I was going with that. It's always a good tell.
Wandy Peralta up in the Reds pen.
Clint Hurdle was my hitting coach. Clint Hurdle, manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates, used to tell us all the time as part of our hitters meeting, the 2-out RBIs are what win ball games. And if you pay attention to it over the course of a season, you realize that the team with more 2-out RBIs in just about every game, I do believe the percentage is above 90 now. It's really your tell. That's the team that wins the ball game. It's coming through in the toughest of moments.
Ground ball hit sharply, bobbled by Jeanette, and he's not going to recover in time. Inning continues. And E4.
A combination of all things today for the Cincinnati Reds. It has been a tough road trip, a tough series here in Miami, and my oh my, we've seen errors, we've seen hits by the Marlins, and the combination have led to, well, a bit of an offensive outburst here for the Marlins. Runner in scoring position. Second error in the inning.
11th of the season for Jim Riggleman's second baseman, Scooter Gennett. Here's Sierra, a walk and a hit today. Chop to first, and it gets by Barnhart into right field. Wallach around third. He'll score. Richards on his way to third. He's in there safely, and Sierra keeps the inning going. 6-0 Miami.
Another good swing of the bat by Sierra. They're going to give him a hit. There you go. That's what you want to see between Wallach and Sierra today. Now 5 for 5. That is some serious production from the bottom of the lineup. This up and over the glove of Barnhart, who, as I said earlier, was making his 6th career start at first base.
The Reds will make a pitching change. The Florida Lottery call to the bullpen here at Marlins Park. With 2 on and 2 out in the 5th. The new Monopoly jackpot scratch off from the Florida Lottery is a new spin on a classic. The top prize of $5 million, so unleash the excitement anytime. The Florida Lottery, it's your ticket, must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly. Wandy Peralta into the ball game, his 57th game on the season. And he inherits a 2 on 2 out situation as the Marlins continue to score runs. 4 in the 3rd and 2 in the 5th. Leadoff man JT Riddle at the plate. Couple of hits for him today. 2 of the 12 that the Marlins have. Again, just 2 outs in the 5th inning. Low and away to JT.
Now, Peralta's done a nice job for the Cincinnati Reds since his return from Louisville. 2.63 ERA, last 19 appearances.
Tipped into the glove of Casale, and it's 2-2. Right side for Jeanette. Makes the play, and the inning is over, but the Marlins get 2 more and stretch it to a 6-0 lead.
game first. I don't broadcast to have one-liners make the highlight shows or to be talked about or written about or remembered.
The left field breaking in. Conine can't get to it. Up with it. The runners wait. Here's the throw to the plate. Pudge is waiting. He tags him, gets knocked over, holds on, and the Marlins win the game.
Marlins legendary Hall of Fame broadcaster Dave Van Horn honored before the game. It was a surprise to him. His daughter Maddie and wife Jose surprised him on the field. Glenn Gefter emceeing, Chip Bowers out there. The Marlins executive recognizing 50 years of Major League Baseball play-by-play. Our pal Dave started with the Montreal Expos in 1969. In their first year, he had come from Richmond, did some Virginia Tech games in his background, and has been a Major League staple since then, and continues to this day doing a great job. And we wanted to recognize him as well for a marvelous work and being honored before the game. Guys, I know you guys have gotten a chance to get to know Dave over the last few years. Quite a professional.
Oh, unbelievable. Yes, congratulations to DVH on 50 years. Of course, a Ford Frick Award winner. One of the things in this, my first year doing this, when we have other broadcasting crews, I always go in there, try to talk to the play-by-play guy, get an idea of, you know, what do you do? How do you work? What's your routine? As Riddle makes the play it short to get Peraza for the first out. And I'll remember when the Braves were in town the first time, and I talked to Chip Carey, who was a third-generation broadcaster, of course. And one of the things that he told me was, you see that guy over there? And he pointed to DVH, and he said, you take everything that guy says. He's seen it all. He's done it all. Talk to him. And I've shared dinners with him and some late-night beverages after games with the guy. He's just a terrific individual, and it's been my pleasure to kind of join his fraternity this year.
Yeah, tell you what, keep it short and sweet, the best.
Hey guys, today Dave came here thinking he was emceeing something. He didn't quite know what. And Jason Latimer, the Vice President of Communications, really went to all ends. He gave him a list of some tricky names with pronunciations, and Dave is going back and forth, you know, long names. How do you say that? So he was totally surprised by being honored before the game today. Great job.
That's fantastic stuff. Well, you know, 10 minutes before the game, I'm not sure you get him down to the field. It'd be like, I've got a job to do. Right. You're not going to get me down there. So they kind of had to coerce him just a little bit to get him, well, at home plate 10 minutes before the ball game. You know, he's prepping and getting ready, and I'm sure he would have been like, yeah, you know, I've got a job to do.
Right, right. Ball and 2 strikes to Scooter Gennett. Inside, 2-2. The Florida Lottery in-game jackpot, 1972, Pete Rose. Last time that a Cincinnati Red won the batting title. And Gennett, with his 1 for 2 today, is at 316 right now.
Yeah. Christian Yelich is at 322. He's got a 2-hit day going on with the Brewers. Got a single, a walk, and a home run. 3 RBIs. He's having a big day. So he's trailing Yelich by 6 points. I'll handle the math around here.
Yes, thank you very much. I would have said like 26 or something crazy. Carry the 2.
Well, listen, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, and I find it interesting just so fans know. It's why I always found, when I was a kid growing up, batting races so engaging. That 6 points that you see there is listen, we're talking like maybe a 2 for 4 or a 3 for 4 and an 0 for 4, and they're tied again. So, right. I mean, every game, every at-bat means a little bit of something, and you kind of watch, well, at least when we were kids, you know, watching across the country was a lot harder to do than it is today.
You had to wait till the next morning.
Box scores. Right, that's exactly right. So, or you watch the news.
O'Brien, the flip to Richards. 2 up, 2 down in the 6th. Yeah, now things are a little more instantaneous.
Yeah, and I like that because we get to do it in game. It certainly helps our cause. You're busy going, yeah, you know what Scooter's done today, which we've obviously were watching. We already know what Yelich is doing. What are they, in Milwaukee? I'm not even sure where they are right now.
Pittsburgh.
Ah, they're in Pittsburgh. Milwaukee's up 7-0. Yeah, see? There you go.
This is low to Eugenio Suarez. A single in the 4th for the Reds' third baseman. Grounded foul. Richards trying to complete 6 innings of work for the first time since July 28th against the Washington Nationals. Even that was 2 weeks after the last time he won a game. His last win was July 14th.
It's been a while.
In a great position right now, up 6-0. And the 2-2 pitch. Popped up. This is Riddle. 6 innings of solid work for Trevor Richards. DVH. 50 years in the biz.
That goes beyond baseball with Marlins group membership. New group leader benefits and priority access to fan experiences. The 2019 season will be one to remember. Place a deposit before September 29th and attend member batting practice. Visit marlinsenrollment.com.
Wandy Peralta, who finished off the 5th. Back out there for the 6th inning. And Austin Dean will lead things off. Dean, Castro, and O'Brien. And Dean lines out to center, and the second sliding catch for Guerrero today.
Yeah, you do it once, we'll think about a bonefish fresh catch of the day. You do it twice, you're pretty much a shoo-in. There you go, bonefish fresh catch of the day. Good instincts by the young Guerrero. Good read off the bat, gets himself into position where you can get that glove just to the top of the turf and make a running catch. I'll tell you this, he's a little quicker first step quickness than Vladdy. A little bit better than Dad. Now Wilton was an infielder. Dad was the outfielder, but Dad was a little bit more, what's the word, a little stoic maybe. You know, didn't hit the ground nearly as much. You know, he would run, he'd make great catches. You saw the arm, uncle, I should say.
With Starlin Castro at the plate, we have the Geico Day in Major League Baseball history, September 23rd, 2011. The youngest Chicago Cub to get to 200 hits in a season.
Yeah, I can verify that. I was around for it. He's an impressive young man. Certainly helped the Chicago Cubs transition to a new phase of their history. And obviously 2016, he wasn't part of the team that won the championship, but had a role to play nonetheless. Ground ball to short, out number 2 in the bottom of the 6th.
It's easy to beat the heat when you become an energy saving expert. Go to FPL.com/beattheheat.
Nobody on it, 2 out for Peter O'Brien. 0 for 3 today. He flew out to Guerrero, who made his first of 2 sliding catches out in center field today. Takes the ball down and away. 1-0. Last 10 games for O'Brien coming into today was 9 for 27, 3 homers and 7 RBIs, but looking for his first hit and finds it. A line drive over the leap of Suarez. And O'Brien keeps the 6th inning going.
Through no fault of his own, he's been swinging the bat pretty well. It just hasn't been getting nearly the same number of hits. His changeup stays up. He stays on it, catches it off the end a little bit. Muscles it into left. Now see, that's where Lorenzen was going to be working with Suarez on that box jump.
The box jump, yeah.
He got off the ground about 2 or 3 inches there.
I'm not making any jokes. I can barely move right now. I'm not laughing at anybody.
Listen, fans at home now, my poor partner is dealing with a bad back right now, so understand that my ribbing is not good. Been over here shaking your chair, trying to get you to bounce up and down. It's not working.
It's awful. Trying to just move around. Can't do it. Playing baseball with my son yesterday, bend over to grab a ball, just locked right up.
Well, we've decided that on the team flight today that I'll just have the Marlins, the team players, come stand on your back. See if that doesn't get things in line.
That's fine. I think it's probably just from, I don't know if it's stress or having.
It's all the heavy lifting in the booth.
Yeah, it's carrying the broadcast.
There you go.
I think that's what it is.
Cozy.
We'll have Cozy on the case.
Cozy Hub.
Cozy's on the case.
That's a pro's pro right there.
Your trainer back in the day.
That's right.
Here with
Cozy's
the Marlins.
been around for a while. Now 13 hits for the Marlins today, 12 singles. Adds up to 6 runs. They're looking for more. 14 runs in the series.
Called strike, 98 miles an hour from Peralta. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Right side and foul into the seats. Another 2-2 pitch to Anderson, takes outside. And on 3-2, Peter O'Brien will get a jump start at first. Couple of hits today for Anderson. Check that. 3 hits today for Anderson. Back-to-back singles with 2 outs. Keep this inning alive.
Getting some momentum going for the final week of the Major League season. How about a good start, a good Sunday. Again, the changeup. Fooled just a bit, but stays on it. Good level swing through the zone. Lines it back through the box for his 3rd single of the afternoon. Now, he's had a nice series all the way back to the double that set up the Isaac Galloway game winner. A lot of good things starting to happen once again for Brian Anderson.
Swung on and missed by Brinson, 0-1. First 3-hit game for BA since August 5th. And Brinson, right field corner, and foul.
Right, he almost hit that ball out.
Yeah,
the right field line.
Irvin knew that wall was coming up, may have slowed up just a step. No give in that wall. That's is cement behind that inch or two of padding. So now the 0-2 pitch is chopped wide of third. Two-hit day for Brinson, had an RBI single and scored a run back in the third inning. Tipped right into the glove, and the inning is over. Well, the Marlins have a 6-0 lead through 6 innings.
They're trying to find out the name of this guy in the bullpen. He's not on the team. He's the bullpen catcher. Nearly impossible.
New guy. Can you tell me who it is?
Who?
The guy in the bullpen.
Who? Whose name?
Yeah. I'm just the guy in the bullpen.
Who is the name of the last guy?
Who?
And who catches it?
I certainly hope so.
No, I mean, who catches the ball?
Who?
That's what. Yes, who? The guy here.
Who?
Who does?
Who?
All right, listen, I didn't get anywhere yet. We're hopefully going to get this story, and when we do, we'll have it on Marlins Live next week. Very frustrating story to do at the end of the season.
Monday, that game in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. we will let you know when we'll air. Maybe we're looking at the Mets, maybe Friday night, if we can get the answer.
If you can get to the bottom of it, exactly.
To find out who's catching the ball out there. All right.
Yeah. Got to figure out who.
It's a whodunit is what it is. No question about it.
It's a whodunit.
Boy, frustrating.
It is.
You know, you try all year, Paul, come up with a good story.
He's been sitting in front of me on the plane
right?
for the last 3 months.
Scratching your head.
Right.
And why are they so secretive about it? That's the thing. I've never seen such a thing.
Who is?
Around the ball club. Yes, well,
naturally.
Ooh.
All right, guys. Sorry.
As if we hadn't confused our audience enough throughout the year, we leave you with that.
What?
I don't know.
Who?
No, he's on third. I don't know.
That's Andy. That's Andy at third. No. That's Andy right there.
That's Andy. That's O'Brien. And that's 2 outs.
I'll tell you what, it's always fun to see Brian Anderson throw the ball across the diamond. Certainly fun to see him throw the ball from right field as well. Treats a few steps, but watch the strong arm. My goodness. Whoop. Right on the money.
So 2 quick outs here in the 7th. That'll bring up Kurt Casale.
Lost in the fun that we're having here in the last game at Marlins Park today, and I think in some respects over the last couple of innings anyway, is this incredible performance that Richards has thrown out there.
Yeah,
we've had a lot of offense and certainly have gotten into that angle. And talking about the hits and the runs and the Reds and their struggles, Trevor Richards is just kind of cruising right along.
Trying to get through 7 innings for the 2nd time this season. And he will do just that. So not since April 14th that he gone 7. He does so today in his final home start. Excellent work. 6-0. Stretch here, a 6-0 lead for the Marlins. Yesterday, the National League East was put to bed by the Atlanta Braves as they finished up the Philadelphia Phillies. A 5-3 win. They win the division. They celebrate at home. A terrific season for that young squad. Certainly it seems as though the window is wide open for the Atlanta Braves. Here is the updated NL playoff picture. The Braves, a division champ, the first to clinch. Chicago with a 2.5-game cushion on Milwaukee. Both teams in good position to win games today. LA is a 1.5 up on the Rockies. And Milwaukee and St. Louis trying to hold off Colorado. So that's the National League. In the American League, the picture is substantially clearer with this walk-off in the bottom of the 11th inning yesterday. And Aaron Hicks doubled into the corner, paired with a Rays loss earlier in the day. The New York Yankees have clinched. They get a playoff berth. And in Oakland, a walk-off wild pitch shrinks the A's magic number to clinch at least a wild card at 1. So you sum it all up, the Red Sox and the Indians have won their divisions, both going away. Houston is 3.5 up on the A's right now. And the Rays, the slimmest of chances right now to stay alive for that second wild card. But the Yankees in, Houston's in, Cleveland and Boston all in. So not much to be figured out in terms of the American
certainly
League.
Not much left. This is Reyes into the ballgame, 2.45 ERA. In 2/3 innings, does have a strikeout, a couple of walks.
He'll face Chad Wallach, who has had a huge day. His first big league home run, 3 hits, and he leads it off. Single in the second, a 3-run homer in the fourth, both off of his former teammate in a couple of different spots, Michael Lorenzen. And it looks as though the day is done for Trevor Richards after 7 superb innings. Miguel Rojas in the on-deck circle. Chop to third, Suarez makes the play, and Wallach is retired for the first time this afternoon.
Miguel Rojas making his way to the on-deck circle. Or excuse me, now on his way to the box. There you go. 3 for 16 as a pinch hitter this season. Has now been announced. 11 for 50 in his career.
So that officially ends the day for Richards. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, a walk, and 9 strikeouts. And he had the changeup working from the get-go. He had 9 Ks, as I said, 8 of them on the changeup. The last one was on the slider. But all in all, for Richards, a great way to finish his home schedule. You figure probably another start left for him.
That's right. Well, listen, you know, September has been a bit of a recovery. Now that's one good step forward. Finish up strong at home. You'd like to see him do that one more time on the road.
The 1-1 to Rojas is cut on and missed. Tyler Kinley is up in the bullpen.
Told you, right after the 7th inning stretch.
Yeah, you're right. He does it all. Right back to the screen, and it's still 2-2.
Now for Richards today, 41% changeups, 43% fastballs. I mean, it's adding and subtracting. It's very much what we've talked about coming into the ball game, getting into that roll or that sequence that he uses so well. Stepping on the gas, pulling back off. Again, great depth on the changeup. Impressive day.
Yeah, we've heard Don Mattingly talk about it a lot. He knows what he needs to do to succeed at this level. So again, as we look toward next year, we're certainly not up here setting the rotation, but obviously he's been in it for a good chunk of this year. See how the winter goes, the spring goes, but figure he's at least got a chance to be in the mix.
Well, and I think here's the idea. Listen, you know, we've talked an awful lot about the breaking ball of that next pitch, and I think the next pitch will help him. See the ground ball to the left side. Suarez up with it. Nice play. Good throw across the diamond, out number 2. The idea, I think, moving forward is, and again, I know I said it, I know Nelly talked about it as well, you know, the need for that breaking ball that helps kind of balance out his arsenal. If the changeup doesn't have enough depth like it, you know, his last 2 or 3 starts, that curveball could eventually be a good pitch. But again, so much of that conversation is a work in progress. Easy for me to say, you know, Trevor Richards needs to come up with a curveball. You know, let's see it today. You know, and it's just not that easy. It's something that he's going to have to work on this winter. And I would anticipate as he gets to spring training that there's going to be a new and improved breaking ball, or something that is going to be an addition to the arsenal. Maybe it's not just a breaking ball. I mean, it could be anything. But the idea is another pitch that balances out his arsenal. What's interesting, you know, we watch the ups and the downs, and a lot of times I love to read the numbers in between. It kind of tells you what a pitcher's thinking. Things don't work. And the one thing with Trevor is that when he was going good, it was the same set of sequencing, and when it was bad, exactly the same. Means there's really one way for him to succeed. He has to stay in that game plan of fastball, changeup, and you know how it works.
2-2 to Sierra. Again, it was 8 strikeouts on the changeup and 1 on the slider. The last one on the slider.
Right. And that's really kind of the few spots we've seen him try it out, is kind of in the, you know, you'll see a big lead, or maybe the 3 or 4 runs, and then you'll occasionally see him use a few breaking balls. I mean, the idea is, like, you think, okay, first time through, most guys have showed 2, 3, 4, 5 breaking balls first time through the lineup, and that's just not really part of his arsenal right now. It just hasn't been reliable enough. Hopefully it will be.
Called strike 3 right at the top of the zone. And we are through 7 in the final home game of 2018.
Taking over the game, and you know we won't stop, cause we don't feel pain. Now we taking over the game, taking over. Yeah, we taking over the game, cause now we taking over the game. Yeah, we never stop, we don't feel pain.
Well, if the score holds, this has been a terrific afternoon. The final home game. One of our fine cameramen down at the bottom there. Look at that, representing the U. John Tuitu down there. Got a college shirt for just about everybody. All right, Brady Stallings, appreciate the hard work throughout the year. And of course, up here in our booth, Cassie Allen. Hello, Cassie. She's our stage manager. She hands us all the fun different reads and promos. Thank you, Cassie. Miguel Rojas is over at first base now. And also, I shouldn't forget Jenna Brodsky. She's over another one of our stage managers. She's the backup to Cassie when Cassie's doing more important things elsewhere with other people who are more important than us. Jenna's on the road side today. There's Jenna hanging out, working. She's got a binder. It's very serious. Tyler Kinley is in.
Well, Kinley is impressive in the truck, and he's impressive on the mound. Tell you what, he has opened up some eyes, and I'll tell you, moving into next season, Would not be surprised if the leverage is a little bit higher for Mr. Kinley. Tyler's been good since arriving on the scene. He's only allowed 1 run. Came in his last appearance against the Nationals, but other than that, it has been nothing but zeros. Eight strikeouts, 2 walks, just over 5 innings of work.
Gabriel Guerrero with a drive out to center. Brinson has room on the track for out number 1. A little bit more on Tyler Kinley. Again, ties to the area. Attended Nova High School, Barry University, a Marlins draft pick in 2013 in the 16th round. Then went to the Twins, back to the Marlins. 5 levels of the Marlins organization: Arizona Fall League, Dominican Winter League. So he's been around, and from what we've seen the last few weeks, perhaps turning a corner. Big arm, big slider, and he has been effective.
Well, he said he needs to keep the ball out of the middle of the plate. That's really about it. And he throws hard enough to pitch to the edges, and when he does, he gets the results he wants. Really, the only struggles we've seen, maybe even the contact we just saw from Guerrero, that even though he throws high 90s down the middle of the plate, he can't always go there. It's going to get squared up an awful lot. He definitely has the makeup of a late inning reliever. Mound presence, swagger, as I like to say. He's got a little bit of it.
Dilson Herrera, the pinch hitter in the pitcher's spot. Heading the count 2-1. Strike right at the top of the zone, and the count runs full 3-2. On the end of the bat, that's Riddle. Backing up to make the play, 2 down.
MLB.TV is now available at a lower price for just $49.99. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game, plus get a free subscription to MLB at Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this special offer.
Back to the top of the order for Scott Schebler. Couple of fly ball outs today and a walk back in the 3rd. Little wide, 1-0. StatCast AI powered by AWS. Stays up the middle and to the right side on ground balls in play on the infield for Scott Schebler. 1-1. There was, by the way, one other cameraman I forgot to thank, only because he's not here today because he works so hard. He's doing stuff for TBS today. Jonathan Berkman, who always runs our high home camera. He's always the guy who opens the windows in here for us. He does other stuff too, but we like the way that he opens the windows. So thanks, John, and our whole crew as we go to the bottom of the 8th. On the Marlins Live pregame show today. And for those that may have missed it, he is the great-great-grandnephew of the 25th President of the United States, William McKinley. But the family changed his name. So we break out the Toyota inside look. So they changed the name, a little bit of they were fearing a retribution from the assassination, the whole 9 yards. So anyway, related to William McKinley, so which of these is not true? We'll take a closer look at that list in a second. JT Riddle takes a called strike. So which is not true?
Yeah, this is my favorite time of the game.
One of these is false.
All right. Spain for $200 million. They will make the less of something. I'm killing. Nah, okay, I got it.
You got it. Okay.
I got it.
You got it?
I got it.
Riddle taps back to the mound. Well, Jared Hughes makes the play.
Anybody who knows their currency knows that Grover Cleveland is actually on the 1934 $1,000 bill, not William McKinley.
So that's the one that's false?
That's the one that's false.
How do we know his parents' name? Oh, you got it right.
$500 bill. Boom. I did not know that. I just knew he wasn't on the $1,000 bill.
You're so rich, it's not fair.
They don't even make that bill anymore. What are you talking about? It was completely discontinued, I believe, right around that period of time.
I collect 1934, whatever. It's amazing. The lineage there. Genealogy? Which one is it?
That's pretty awesome. That's what it is. I mean, it's cool.
Is it lineage or genealogy? Or are they the same thing?
I would think it's lineage. Yeah, it's a guess on my part.
No idea. No things. It's not what I'm hired for.
He agreed. He said yes. Yes.
Austin Dean chops one wide of third.
Nice crowd today here at Marlins Park for the final home game, 13,595. All right, as we're saying, thanks to everybody who helps us. This man right here helps us more than just about anybody in the business. Everybody on the cameras, everybody behind the scenes, absolutely fantastic. But this guy, he's our statistician, and he does all the behind the scenes work. We work tirelessly all. Well, I kind of take you on the road with me. Even though you're not on the road with me, you do kind of come. We're always texting back and forth with emails and everything else like that. He helps Paul and I all season long. He's the best in the business. We could not do this. We could not put this production together without this guy. So many of these great numbers that you hear, this man provides them. One of the best that there is. Irreplaceable.
That's right. Chimmy. That's the Chimmy that we're always talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Dean into center. Guerrero puts it away for out number 2.
Total team effort.
I'm convinced neither one of you guys sleep, though. They're always thinking about something. You even match your purple shirts with the purple ties. I mean, you guys are on the same wavelength.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Between John and Ken Lee, not Kinley, but Ken Lee.
Ken Lee, you're right.
It's true. We enjoy our jobs. I mean, it's part of it is the the method to the madness, as they say. The finding that hole and what the story tells you after you find some of the storylines and the numbers. And he and I were really putting together the whole connection between. Lorenzen and Wallach today, right? So we kind of we were like, oh wait a minute, 2013 draft class. Oh wait, both. Cal State, like one thing led to another, and next thing you know, you're starting to tell a story, and you realize Chad has the game of his career so far today, and he's doing it against a former, a 3-year teammate of his at Cal State Fullerton, who he knows probably as well as anybody. It's funny how those stories kind of end up coming together, but when you start passing on that knowledge and those facts, you start, kind of getting to the bottom of things. Good stuff. Now, Jimmy does have one flaw, just one. It's a little one, and we let it slide here in the booth more times than not. He's a diehard Mets fan.
Is he?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Right.
No idea.
He's
Every
denying
fifth
it. He's
day,
in denial.
every fifth day when I get a text of what DeGrom did and how many runs he allowed
You've
or
not
not
noticed.
allowed.
Well, you've not noticed how he's manipulated me into my DeGrom for Cy Young conversation with constant information and statistical analysis centered around DeGrom.
Right. Yeah. Well, now it all makes sense now.
I feel like 2 months ago I was saying Scherzer, and now he's corrected me.
Yeah.
No more Scherzer information, just DeGrom stuff.
Yeah. He does carry around a pocket watch where he kind of sways it right in front of your head.
That's right.
DeGrom.
Casale finds it, throws to first to complete the strikeout. And we go to the 9th inning. Marlins go 1-2-3, but they lead it 6-0. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Publix, where shopping is a pleasure, and by your South Florida Honda dealers. Beautiful day here in Miami, and a great way to finish out the home schedule. Marlins with a 6-0 lead heading to the 9th inning. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth. Paul Severino, Todd Hollinsworth. Thank you so much for allowing us in your living rooms every night for 3 hours or so. We appreciate it. It's been an awful lot of fun. Still a road trip to go, but the home schedule winds down today.
Well, speaking of road trips, I'd like to thank Marcy, Ty, Tug, Trey, and Tatum. My goodness, you put up with me this time of year. You know this as well as I do. We are dedicated to this ball club, but we could not do it without our incredible families. I am so blessed. They give us leeway, I guess, is the way to go and kind of dive into this. We see it every day, and so very grateful.
Yeah, we've been thanking our crew family here for quite some time, but Heather, Jackson back home for me. Of course, it's not easy. The adjustment to this new lifestyle has been sometimes difficult, but it has also been an awful lot of fun, very rewarding on the work side of things, and it's been a blast.
Well, and I was telling Heather last night, it does get a little easier. Year one's a tough one. It sure is, and I know that it will around here as well, and I know as this team gets easier, you're going to get more connected and see a lot of good things. You've done a fantastic job this year, and they should be very proud of your efforts. You've worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this a big-time production, and it's been great.
Thank you, pal. I appreciate it, and you know what? You've been very good yourself.
Well, I just kind of rally everybody around here. If you've noticed, that's kind of my job, right?
That's right. That's right. You're
Come on, Jimmy, bring your game.
High energy guy. High energy guy. I love it. Now, this has been fun. And, yeah, 1 week to go as Drew Rosinski takes over his 30th game this season after the leadoff single by Jose Peraza. That'll bring up Scooter Gennett. Foul territory, and Anderson can't get there. It's 0-1.
Well, the Reds have a week to go, and I'll tell you, after the 4 games we've watched, I'm sure they're either tired of the road or they want the season to end immediately. 1 run in their last 29 innings. 5 runs scored in the series. Remember, they scored 4 on Thursday. Right? I mean, it has just been, for one of the better offenses in the game, they have just hit a wall here at the end.
Jeanette a single in the first inning, 1 for 3 on the day.
It's brought to my attention, I believe, did I hear Yelich hit another home run, 2 today? Is that correct? 2 homers, a single and a walk.
Making a strong case for NL MVP. This one grounded to second. Castro to Riddle, and Jeanette is safe at first. Close play. First base umpire Corey Blazer said that Jeanette beat it out. Marlins may give it a look.
Quick turn, strong throw from JT across the diamond. Scooter hustling out of the box the entire time. Yep, he beat it.
So 1 away for Eugenio Suarez. Seven strong from Richards today. 3 hits, a walk, 9 strikeouts, 1 shy of his career high and season high that he had back in April against the Dodgers. Kinley worked the 8th, and now Rosinski in the 9th. WB Mason Marlins Live postgame show coming up. Craig Minervini, Tommy Hutton, Jeff Nelson from center field. Chad Wallach with a huge day, his first big league home run in a 3-hit afternoon. Three and 1 to Suarez is in there. A called strike at the bottom of the zone. Grounded to short. Riddle, 1, over to first, and that is going to do it. It's a Marlins win, 6-0, as they take 3 out of 4 from the Cincinnati Reds to close out the home schedule. A terrific way to do it. Great start from Trevor Richards. Bullpen does its job, and the Marlins get the shutout of Cincinnati. Richards his first win since mid-July. And some offense from his battery mate Chad Wallach. 3 hits, including his first major league home run. All in all, a great way to finish up the home schedule.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Good to see Trevor Richards bounce back. Great opportunity for Wallach today. Gets the start behind home plate. Did a fantastic job offensively, defensively. Listen, you hit a home run and catch a shutout. Does it get any better than that? I'm not sure it does. Maybe the biggest day of his young career. Yeah, good win. They take 3 or 4 from the Reds. Onto the road.
Time for T-Mobile built for baseball. And we're going to focus in on Chad Wallach. It's not easy to take a guy like JT Realmuto out of the lineup, even though you know you have to. But a great way to step up today.
Now, and against the former teammate, it always feels good. And against his former team, nice day. See the base hit up the middle, and there's the home run. That was the impressive one. Cut fastball out over the plate. Any mistakes he got, he was all over this afternoon.
And Craig is all over it right now. He's got Chad Wallach downstairs.
Well, a lot of things to talk about with Chad Wallach. First of all, you played with Lorenzen at Cal State Fullerton. That's kind of neat. Have you guys talked about this leading up to this ever? You know, maybe back in the day?
No, not really. I mean, I didn't know if I was playing or not today. I mean, if I did, I probably would have said something to him, but I didn't know I was playing. And I mean, we've always talked about playing against each other when we played with each other, but It was a lot of fun today.
You never told him you were going to take him deep. He never told you he was going to strike. Yeah, that had to happen.
No, because you don't know what's going to happen. So we just kept it fun.
What about the moment for you? The big home run, your first in the major leagues in a key spot.
Yeah, it was just a lot of fun. You know, it was nice that it came in a big spot with 2 runners on. And, I mean, that's kind of what you work for, so it was fun.
Now, you come around, I know your dad's the coach, but he's still your dad somewhere. He's a stoic guy. What was that like to see him after your homer?
It was pretty cool. You know, I kind of been waiting for it. There's a few at-bats today, and I hadn't gotten it yet, but when it finally did happen, it was awesome to have him there for it.
Yeah, get a hand. I didn't see it exactly. Did you get a hand, a little hug, a handshake, high five?
At that time, I didn't really know what was going on. I think I got him a high five going by, but yeah, it was a blast.
And then you continued over here, and everybody got together in a little celly.
Yeah, that was fun. You know, getting with the guys, jumping around a little bit. You know, that's kind of what baseball's about. So,
Chad, what about your first 3-hit game here and getting a little opportunity in September?
Yeah, you know, and getting to play in September this time, it's just kind of proven for next year. It's a little tryout. You just want to go out and do well and show them what you can do.
What worked well for Richards today? Maybe looking at the tape the last few games, anything you did differently? The Reds seemed aggressive, looked like you took advantage of it.
Yeah, Trevor was awesome. He had all his stuff tonight. You know, his slider was good. We've been working on that, and I mean, his changeup's always good. And those 2 pitches were playing great off each other, and he was locating his fastball. He was awesome today.
Was there a point either early in the game in the bullpen where you felt, oh, he's on today?
Yeah, you know, he had a really good bullpen today. You could tell his slider was breaking how he wanted it to, his changeup was working, and he was hitting spots with his fastball. You know it's going to be a good day when a pitcher can do that.
Congratulations. Thanks a lot, Chad.
Yeah,
first homer.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Never forget this day. Chad Wallach, good for you. Go enjoy with your teammates. Chad Wallach with a 3-hit game, guys, and, of course, that big 3-run homer as the Marlins win this game. And another shutout for Miami, Paul.
Yeah, it was a very well-pitched game, an awful lot of fun today. Again, still a week to go. Marlins will head to Washington, D.C. for a 3-game set, which begins tomorrow night. A day off in New York, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday against the Mets at Citi Field. But today, wrapping up the home schedule, and as is usually the case, the Marlins will say thanks to some of the fans that were here, some season ticket members getting the jerseys off the Marlins back. A huge thank you to those of you that watched and came out to the ballpark. We appreciate it. 6-0. Marlins win the game. The Marlins Live post-game show is next.